Hey everybody, it's Christian again, and I'm showing you some more stuff, what I did this afternoon. Sorry, I was pretty busy today, so I didn't do a whole lot of stuff. I'll work on more over the weekend stuff. But I also decided something very interesting. I don't feel like making this video without just being at me talking consistently, so it's kind of annoying. So, cue epic music. So, alright. Now, what was I? Oh, adjusting the size. I was having issues with the sizing. I was wondering why I was looking up there. Anyways, so let's get started. This is going to be a little bit more for matte and white this time. As with, I guess, a lot of my stuff, primarily just because I'm doing programming stuff like now. Real quick though, I would recommend still watching this, even if you are not Matt or Wyatt. It will probably help you. You know, if you are Matt or Wyatt, you know, definitely watch it. If you don't watch it, if you're not Matt and Wyatt and you don't watch it, my feelings will be a little bit hurt. But anyways, so let's get started. So basically, all I did was I just added in the movable columns. That's them right here. Some of you will remember that we are going to have the columns will be able to move up twice, down once. Because the way I'm going to have to build a nav mesh, all the columns will start off lower than their max height. That's the only reason they'll already start off low, and when the game starts, they'll move up to their 0 position from their 1 position. I'm going to go ahead and open this real quick. This is the columns functionality. I'm going to do a test, so I'm not going to really run through this too much, but basically it uses this variable. It checks what it hits, checks which one it is, then breaks off into 2 paths, one which moves up, this one moves down, this one moves up. This one moves up, and on event begin play, we want it to move up 1 time, and this is the max height, and we have our height. So if you look over here, max height is 2. That's how many times. That's the height it can move up. Min height is -1 because it moved down 1 time. And we're starting height off at -1 because we're starting it at the lowest level and moving it up 1. That is just to help create the nav mesh, because we need 4 layers of nav meshes if we're doing it the way I think we're going to end up having to do it. So just bear that in mind. So I'm going to go ahead and minimize this. Alright, so if you see, it pulled it up right there. I also changed this so we can differentiate these from these. So, real quick, show you how it works. When they're thinner, they seem a lot... They're moving the same height as before, but when they're thinner, they seem like they got a lot higher. But we can always adjust that later. Sorry, I'm getting the hiccups all of a sudden. I haven't actually hiccuped yet, but I can feel them coming on. So see, it can't go up after 2. Let's lower it down. Shooting zeros now. There we go. It's all the way to the bottom. Up. And there we go. It's up the top and back down. And you see, it doesn't affect the other ones and stuff like that. And I can change this on, this on, this on, this on. There we go. See, all independently, and I can stand on these and stuff. Really quick, because Wyatt, I'm putting this up online right after I finish this prototype so far. So I just want to show you. Hit H to minus your health. Hit J to increase the wave number. Alright, those are 2 things that you won't be able to see immediately or whatever. Everything else, the controller's the exact same as the GDD if you go look at it, alright? Sprint, everything like that. You can grab all these, bam, 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 bam. Okay, so, I'll show you real quick. In the editor, I'm going to show you how we'll be setting these up real quick. So we have the columns now, right? Let's go ahead and just, you know, drag in a new column. I'll start setting it up on this side real quick, okay? So bam, new column. So this is the column blueprint. It's in the blueprint under level elements. I've been starting to organize some of this stuff. This character stuff I'm just going to leave right here. I'll have another folder for enemies. I got projectiles and power-ups, everything like that. So you can look at all those in your own time, how they function and stuff. So I got this column now, and what do I do? Okay, so I want the column, let's give it some better numbers. So X we'll just set to 0, 0, 0. Set everything to 0, be easier. And then we're going to move this out, all the way out here, and that's an odd number, so let's set it to -4,000. You all should be able to see everything I see. I'll move it over a little bit so that will show up a little better. And then, so we have an issue here. It's too high, right? So, well, I went ahead and made these things start out already in the blueprint 1 lower. So instead of having to worry about putting these, like, doing some weird division or something, these things are 50 meters high. And we want them to start off 1 lower than the normal start rate. So what's 50 meters? 5,000 centimeters. So we do negative 2,500 for half the height. Bam. And we wanted it to start off lower one. Bam, it's lower one. See? Just like we talked about. So this is going to help you when we're actually building the levels. That's why I'm showing you right now, actually putting the level together stuff. I'm trying to talk fast and do things fast. I'm sorry. If you have to, just rewind. But other than that, I mean, it's not going to be too bad. Alright, so now we got this pillar. What do we want to do? Or column, I'm sorry. So 5 seemed to work good for me. This again up here you can adjust your snaps with the centimeters. 5 worked best for me. I've messed with this already. I've already tried this. So alright, so we're gonna grab it, and I'm gonna keep my grid above, even though it's under. I'm just gonna go ahead and keep my grid above. So I'm gonna grab, click on the arrow, hold down Alt. Oops, I'm sorry. That made me look silly. Hold down Alt, grab it, pull out. There we go. And so we pulled it out a little bit. Now, the first one's hard to line up. So actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to line up right there. And pull down. I got to line this. So the first one is a little bit tricky to line up because it's not perfect. Well, I mean, it actually does line up perfectly. So the best thing to do, I've noticed, get this point lined up right there, and then you can just move it out. Alright, and see, that one's tough. We don't want to do that every time. So, but the thing is though, now that we have 2, let's start doing this. Grab it, Alt, pull it out. Yeah, like that. And actually, this is going to be better to do it this way. So Alt, pull it out. See, look at that. Now we're placing 2, and they're already lined up on the hardest part, which is the side. So let's go ahead and slide that. One more. Bam. There we go. So these are lined up. Now we can do it again. Oh my gosh, look. Grab them there too. I know. I'm sorry. I'm speaking like you guys are children. I'm sorry. I do that. It's not you all. It's me. It's. I'm sorry if it sounds degrading. I'll try to stop. I'm not trying to mean in a degrading way. Just line it up. Bam. So enough with the busy work. So that's how we can start setting these up. And you can shift select all these. G to group them. So now. Again, made me look silly. Ooh, I'm also putting all these in the wrong spot. I'll have to look up the command for it. Anyways, you can look up if you want to look up the group command. Pretty sure it was G. I don't know how it would work, but see, now we can go ahead and drag it out. Bam. Now I have even more columns. And so that'll make building these things really fast because it's multiplicative. And after we have one set up, we can just do more. Actually, I guess technically I won't be putting this up immediately. I'm going to add the other 2 cluster sizes real quick before putting this online. So it'll be 1 extra minute. I'll start uploading the video, then I'll put the other 2 cluster sizes, and then I'll do it. So another thing, just make sure remember to, up here, we got to put everything in the right place. I was not making these in the right place, but I still should put these in the right place now that I have them. Prototype, it's the name of the map, columns, bam, minimize. There we go. All our columns are in this. So we can go ahead and slide down, shift select, bam, we got all our columns in the entire map. Make life easier for us when we're building these things. Okay, so question come up, activating these things. I'm going to build 2 really simple things really quickly. They're going to be similar to things we're making in the game, but they're not going to be things we're making in the game. I'm also going to import an asset so I can show you the collider things real quick, just the FBX. So I can show you the collider things real quick. So go ahead and play. Move around everything. See, they came up. Everything's working like normal. Alright, so gotta do this, and I'll leave these in here. They'll be in examples. Right click, blueprint class, actor. I'm gonna name this node, or well, what was I gonna, we're gonna name that, node, sorry, let's do something with a 1-0 first. Okay, I'm gonna show you how to make something activate with a 1-0 and make something activate with a bullet. Because some things activate with bullets, some things activate with 1s and 0s. Let's put a. So we're gonna do. Let's see. What is that thing called? Capacitors. I'm just gonna put cap proto. These are not staying. They're gonna be deleted. Really quick. I forgot to do this a second ago. I'm going to show you another thing that'll help you really quickly. So we have glowing yellow already. Projectiles. Here we go. Bullet. These are children of this. These 4 are children of this. Bullet. See? It says, if you look, it says, when you hover over it, if you look, try to find it. Normal, 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 normal. There is somewhere on here. I guess it doesn't really show you right here, but these are children. I'm going to duplicate one of these real quick. Bam. And we're going to name this one yellow, because we need the yellow bullet for the enemies. Pull this up. The only thing that's different about a lot of these things, so if you go to the viewport, it's got this little collider on the outside, and then glowing blue, bam, glowing yellow, compile. Alright, so that takes care of that real quick. So save it, now we have the glowing yellow one. I'm going to use the glowing yellow one in a second, that's why I wanted to have it. So back to the examples. Capacitor. So, let's say we're building the capacitor, alright? This is going to be super easy. So what do we need for the capacitor? We need the mesh, so let's add a component. What you would actually do is a mesh component and a static mesh right here. We don't have a good mesh for that, so well, actually I will go ahead and show you anyway. So over here, mesh, let's use shape torus. There we go, we got ourselves a nice little donut right here. We want to apply a material to that. Let's go ahead and do that real quick. Capacitor, what color should we make the capacitor? Let's just make it chrome. Alright, that's just one of the ones I have in here that I took from the other thing, just because I wanted to make some, I needed some other stuff besides just the neon colored ones or whatever. So we got chrome. Alright, so let's see, capacitor. The size is a little bit off. Don't do this with the actual meshes, because the actual meshes shouldn't look like that. Bam. So our capacitor will effectively look something similar to this. In a very strange way. It's going to be, you know, it's a weird little cylindrical node thing. Should have seen them before by now, hopefully. Leave it around right there. Alright, and this thing is going to have its collision down here. Block all dynamics. We are going to want to leave it block all dynamics right here. This thing has its own collision already set up on it. So, that's good. So that seems like everything. Well, we do need one more thing. So we're going to add one more component. Sphere. If I can spell sphere. Sphere collision. Just line it. We're going to kind of eyeball it. And we need a radius on this sphere. So, let's see. Sphere radius. 32. What did I say the... So, 32... Okay, something that's going to be hard about this thing is we need a legit radius on this. I'm going to kind of eyeball it, but what you'll have to do... our radius is a specific size. If you remember, so let's go back to 1. So I think this is probably, if I was to guess, this is probably about. It'll be okay. So this is 32 because it's saying that's 32 centimeters. We don't want 32 centimeters. What did I say? It was like 5 meter radius. So 5 meter radius would be 10 meters. So that's 1,000. That's way too big. So I'm just gonna dock it down to 100. We'll have to play with these numbers to get the right number. So we got this other sphere collider right here. We're gonna need that, and this sphere collider is going to be attached to the static mesh up here. And let's go ahead and name this. Start naming these because we want to name everything. Sorry if I'm spelling it wrong. I'm just trying to go fast enough. And then explode this. What do we? So why do we need this capacitor? We need explosion radius because we're going to be damaging enemies. Our explosion sphere. There we go. Don't. If please type everything out when you're doing it. And so this says overlap all dynamic. We don't want to overlap all dynamic. We want to overlap all. Okay. So now. So what we want to do with this, if you read the documentation, make sure you read the documentation about each of these elements. That will help you a lot when you're making these. This one is going to be activated by a bullet. If you read it, and you shoot it with the bullet, boom, it explodes. So let's go to the event graph real quick. Well, I'm sorry, back to here. We need to scroll down, and we need a on component begin overlap for the capacitor, not the sphere. The sphere is what we're going to use to check if there's an enemy in the radius and then damage the enemy if the enemy is in that radius. That's effectively what this sphere is for. If you don't add the sphere, that's fine. You can't damage the enemies right now anyways, so it's fine. But so I'm going to go to on component begin overlap down here in the bottom right, click. Alright, we got our on component begin overlap. Now this is checking to overlap with something. what do we need to overlap? We need to overlap a bullet. Now, the problem is that we were having before, saving it, is that our bullets, the old prototype, all our bullets were their own separate blueprint and stuff, so we had to reference a bunch of different ones. This makes it a lot easier. So I'm going to come in and show you really quick projectiles. And that's the icons. Projectiles. In bullet, if you click on it, we got these 4 booleans down here on the left. These 4 booleans represent the color. All these are starting out as false, I'm pretty sure. I may have left one untrue. But yeah, see, they're all false. Okay? So this is these other ones, blue, green, red, white, yellow, I know they don't have a color. They do, but you can't see it in here. See if I drag it out, color. It'll fly away, so I'm just going to delete it because it has a projectile function to it. So if I see it has projectile movement, that's a piece, a thing. This is what's actually propelling it. If you go to the viewport, all I did was I clicked on the projectile and I changed that. That's the only thing I adjusted in it. And oh, I'm sorry. And this boolean, blue, B for blue, is true over here now. The other ones, see, these are still false. What this is letting us do is reference things as this, not as these, because you can only do one overlap per object and or collider. Remember that, because that is very important. I didn't realize how important it was until we started doing other stuff. I didn't know about it as much when we started this project, but we need to do it like this. That's why I'm making this video. Oops, I didn't mean to mute myself. So, go back to our examples. Open up this. So we want it to activate with any bullet, effectively. You know, I want these to activate when the enemy hits them too, not just when the player hits them, because you shouldn't be able to use these to hide behind, honestly. So what we're gonna do, we need to drag this out, and what we're gonna do is cast. When we cast to something, we can get an element from something else, because we need to, this is on component begin overlap. Cast, we can get information from other things, check other things. There's so many things you can do with a cast. It's basically how you access other information. So when you're casting, we're going to go ahead and we're going to cast to an object. So we got all these objects here. There's a lot. So, but we know what we want. Bullet. And we don't want all bullet class or any of these. We want bullet. This is meaning the specific bullet. Alright? And what is this right here? Other actor. This is on the component begin overlap. The other actor is the actor that it is colliding with. You can do other component too. We don't want other component. We're going to do actors pretty much for all this game. So you can combine that. You can actually go ahead and drag this off like this. It'll shrink stuff. Bullet. Cast to bullet. And it'll attach that for you. Alright, cool. So now what do we want to check? So now what do you want to do? This means any bullet that hits it, it will activate, not just one color. So the next thing we're going to do is, for this one's pretty easy. This is all the capacitor has in its coding, effectively. Gonna say, well, it will have a damage and stuff like that, but I can add that in. I just need you to do this part, whoever is doing the capacitor, effectively. This is effectively what you would do. I want you to do it so you can learn and so you can have your own stuff in the game and stuff, but this is how you would pretty much do it. Just read the stuff to make sure things are specific, name things right, because I'm pretty sure that's spelled wrong. But I don't feel like double checking right now. But any case, so what do we need to do next? We need to go ahead and we're gonna have to the first thing we need to do. So it's always good rule of thumb to make some kind of boolean if the thing's been activated or not. So activated. Alright, because we need to know if something's hit it or something like that, just in case we need to check something. It's going to remain as default. Well, once the bullet hits it, now it's activated. Set activated true. And that's just so we can check stuff. So for like other things, you may need to make sure that it hasn't been activated yet. And so what we're going to do then is spawn emitter, which emitter is the emitter refers to a asset, and we don't have any emitters. Oops, it's OBS. Let's see, save this real quick. I should be able to open another project without this one closing. Open project. Bin. Nope. Oh well, I'll open the other one just a second. I'm sorry guys. This is going to be a little bit of a longer video. I'm sorry. Watch it and it will help you. It really will help you. You'll understand what I'm talking about when I say things more. This is why I said other guys, you don't really need to worry about it. Wyatt and Andrew, this is mainly for you guys, or you two. Other people, watch it if you want to learn some stuff, but I won't feel bad. That's also why I put this epic music in the background, so it won't just be as dull. This file is a lot bigger, so it's taking a few more seconds to open. I forgot that I didn't have an explosion particle effect. So I'm sorry about that. Come on. I went ahead and opened up the Epic launcher for me too. Interesting. 7% more. This file's too big. This file is probably almost as big as our entire file will be when we're finished with the game. There we go. That one's open. I'm gonna let the other Epic thing open, so I'm gonna try to get both these open up real quick. So file. So what do we need? Let's just search content for. There we go. This is the particle effect. Is this the particle? Yeah, they changed the color of the particle system. So asset actions, migrate, K, data shift 1, no, we want workshop, data shift game, data shift 2, that's what we're working, that's why I'm working in right now. Okay, migrated successfully, file, project, back to this. Sorry about that. I don't need that much. And it's going to import all the stuff that for this, so. But this should open a lot faster. Yeah, look at that. Much faster. The size is not like 3 gigs like the other one is. It's only like a few megs. Oh my gosh, I don't want you to open. I don't need you to open. I just need this to open. Get stuck on this 7-ish% for a second. Not sure if it's trying to load something specific at the time. Alright, so we are back in. Don't restart. So let's see. It added our new stuff down here. Meshes, animations. All these should be blank. Just making sure before I delete this. It's going to put that folder whenever you migrate something over, but just remember that. Everything should be in here. If we open up our particle system, there we go. We got our explosion. Yeah, see? There we go. So, let's delete it. Alright, so, sorry, back to what we were actually doing. Examples, back into here. So, we checked if it's a bullet, because we just care if it's a bullet, right? And then, particle system explosion. We're going to spawn it at the location. And let's just test this real quick. So, just drag one of these out. Oh, it's tiny as hell. Maybe that size is right. This thing's just way smaller than I thought it would. Way smaller than I thought it was. Okay, yeah, it's way smaller than I thought it was. It has no gravity on it. Shooting right through it? Okay. Oh, okay. I am not spawning the emitter at the location. That would help. So, right click, get actor, location, self, see that it's the target, plug that in there. Also, let's do something about this. This is ridiculously small. There we go. Remember, these things have to be exact when you're doing them, or more exact when you're actually doing them. This is just me trying to show you real quick. Simulate physics. There we go. So now it has gravity. So I don't want this to just be floating all over this guy. Alright. There it is. In all of its shiny goodness. Not sure why it's shiny. Oh, it's probably some light that's somewhere. But anyway, see? We can't walk through it. And now it should. It did spawn the explosion. can tell that because I can see actors appearing on the side. I think the explosion is too small. Yeah, I think you can see it right there. Okay. We'll be able to see it better when I do this. So another thing we're gonna do right as we spawn this is we're gonna delete the actor. So it's gonna explode and destroy the actor. But so we got here destroy actor or self compile. It's not triggering. Now this is something I was mildly worried about. So the way we can check this, well, capacitor, actor, capacitor. Oh, the capacitor is physics. That's correct. Okay, so we need to make a collision radius for this. That's why they're not actually overlapping. Okay, so I could show you another thing. So let's duplicate this. Static mesh. So here's a. Remember I was saying we needed, maybe some custom colliders? Here's how we can make some custom colliders. So we got this mesh. Visible. The ribbon is not drawn. The collider should still be here though. Let's make it visible. So let's go ahead and copy this real quick. Let's compile this. On begin overlap. Let's just try this real quick. Compile. Other actor. Compile. And we don't want this to have small physics. Where is this thing's collision? Collision. No collision. What is? Oh, physics. Oh, okay. Block all. All right. It's deleting the bullets, isn't it? See, and this is why I try to test things sometimes. So I was hoping that would work. It doesn't work. Alright, so other idea. Capsule collision. You may have to work with this more. Right now I'm just gonna go ahead and do this so we can continue. So capsule collider. For this instance, this will work. This I know will work. Overlap all. Save. Component begin overlap. I'm just gonna move this up. Let's just get rid of this completely. I was hoping that would work. Problem is they're not actually overlapping because they're both physics actors. So that's where this problem comes in. That problem doesn't happen with the ones because they pass through objects. The bullets hit objects. These pass through objects. So go ahead and minimize this. Hit play. So there we go. All right. See, that was the main issue. We just couldn't. The bullet wasn't getting inside of it, so it wasn't overlapping. I'm just gonna throw a couple of these down real quick because it's cool. All right. We may try to do destructible meshes. I want to try to do destructible meshes later and stuff. Right now, bam. That's good enough. Bam. Bam. One other thing we want to do. Since we're casting to this, we don't want to just, the bullet shouldn't just keep flying forever. So we're going to need to destroy another actor. So let's copy and paste this real quick. Let's also destroy. If we look back to here, as bullet. So you're saying something as bullet. See, if we go here though, look what you can do. I'll show you in a second on the other one because we're about to start the other one. Okay, so now we're destroying the bullet actor too. So, bam, and the bullet's destroyed too, so it doesn't keep flying. Bam, bullet's destroyed too, bullet's destroyed too, bullet's destroyed too. Ta-da! Okay, so we are going to make one other one real quick, but so again, try and make folders. Prototyping stuff, so let's put the column prototype move here. And then, so, now I'm going to show you real quick how to bring an asset in. You were wondering about the collisions on it and stuff. I'm pretty sure there's gotta be a way to use the mesh to create custom collision stuff. Now, the only thing that this is going to have to worry about is these capsules, like it's just the things that the bullets hit. The other things will work fine, and I'll show you that in a second while I'm doing this. The other things will work fine, so don't really worry about it too much. What Andrew, I knew Andrew, you were saying, oh well, I don't want to use that actual shape. Don't worry about that too much because we're going to be doing something else. So I'm going to show you how to import something because you may want to, make something, instead of just using the primitives that are in here or something like that. You may want to make a really simple asset and bring it in here. So import to game. So we're putting it in here. This is my folder where I have an FBX, and I put node prototype because it's kind of the shape of the node. Like, kind of. It's just super simple, low poly sphere pretty much. Alright, so I'm going to open that. And in here, so we're going to look now. We can mess with these if we want to. We don't really need to. This is going to be on by default. We don't want these on because we don't want to import the materials and textures for these. We may want to with other things. For these we don't because we'll just get bogged down with the materials and textures. So import, no smoothing group. Okay, well it's telling me this object is really small. It is very small. And I did auto-generate. There you go. I did tell it to auto-generate collision boxes. It did its best to auto-generate collisions for me. See, when I imported it, I had auto-generate collisions on. So, yeah, it's 2 centimeters by 2 centimeters by 2 centimeters. Okay, but so see the size of this thing in the game. Oh my god, it is tiny. This is one of the things I actually it's pretty much that's the actual size, 100 times its normal size. So this has the same issue I had with some other things. You got to make sure you have this. I think I had this stuff set wrong. I very quickly grabbed those. Another thing, so create a folder, photo, type, capacitive force. Make sure, like I said, try to organize things. Bam. Now those are all in there. So we can just delete them, add them anytime. Okay, so we got this. So brought it in. This is a bad example now because the scale is off. You want the scale to be right. That is, just make sure you use centimeters inside of Maya. I accidentally must have left it as meters. I wasn't paying attention because I was testing something. And I must have left it as meters instead of centimeters. So I made this really quick. So let's go back to examples. Make a new blueprint class. Actor. This is going to be something that we're going to adjust. Yeah. So let's just say spinny shooty. It's going to spin, it's going to shoot. So let's add a component. And this time we're going to add a mesh. So I can show you how to do all this stuff. So this is type mesh. We want a static mesh. And let's put base. This isn't an actual object that we have in our game. This is going to be similar, not the same, but similar to the CD launcher. So let's go ahead and make a node prototype. The node prototype is extremely small, so let's go ahead and make the node prototype 100 times bigger. Love that music, don't you? Yeah. There we go. It's 100 times bigger. Let's try to put it on center somewhat. Remember, these are all just... When you guys are making these, these should take a little bit of time. I'm just trying to throw through these as fast as I can. So this You know what, let's make this even bigger, because I want this thing to really look like I can hit it. So, oh my, it looks funky now. Alright, there we go. It's 10 meters. No. It's big. Okay, let's just go with big. Alright, so this one, pretend this is like the CD launcher box, case, whatever. It is not going to look like that. It should look like a CD tray. Let me be clear about that. It should look more, it should not look like this. It should look like a freaking CD tray. Let's see there. Yeah, let's make better idea. There we go. Looks a little bit more like a CD tray. It doesn't look anything like a CD tray. I'm going to add our component so that we can see that there is a part here. Man, this thing is giant, isn't it? Okay, sorry. I'm going to lower this down. I know you're probably getting bored. Please just bear with me. This will help you. If it doesn't help you, I'm sorry. I guess you can turn it off. But this will help. Especially Alec. Or, oh my gosh. I don't know why. I keep wanting to say Alec instead of Andrew. Especially Andrew and Wyatt. This will help. Right? I'm even going to go as far as to not really do very much with this. Let's put a material. Let's just keep going with this theme of the chrome. Shing, sparkle, sparkle. I'm going to parent the cube to the base. And then, actually, let's do this. Body, or spinny part. Now, so Wyatt, remember, I think you're doing the CD launcher, right? Well, it has two pieces, the base and the part that actually spins. So add our component, cube, let's call this the base, because the base doesn't spin, remember? So let's scale, it's getting smaller, so let's scale this up, this down. Okay, that's still too, there we go. That's a base. Alright, so now I have the base. Bam. Alright, cool. So the piece you're gonna want to hit this mesh. So this may be a bad example because the mesh isn't super good, but let's see. This is block all dynamic. We're gonna want to block all dynamic on these stuff. So I still personally think we should have another component that is a collider. So let's do box, because it doesn't need to be perfect. The collision stuff doesn't need to be perfect. If you look at a lot of video games, the collisions aren't perfect when you're triggering things. So I'm just going to name this collider real quick. Just going to name it Call because it keeps not wanting to let me do stuff. Alright, I'm just going to make it roughly the size of our little thing here. Okay, it can be a little bit smaller also, because think about it, the 1 and the 0 pass through it, so, you know, it'll be fine. So there we go. So, collider. Because we want all this to block, we want block all dynamics on these things, but the collider, we don't want block all dynamics. We want overlap, or if these are block all dynamic by default, we can just do block all. It doesn't need to be block all dynamic. Block all dynamic means it's things that are moving around. Block all just means, oops, that's not cool. Block all just means it blocks everything. Overlap all, I'm doing overlap all also. So let's go ahead and move down about like right there we go. See, I mean, see, the collision isn't perfect, but it's close enough for a video game. Like a lot of things, their collisions aren't super amazing. So let's compile. I mean, in the future, when we have two meshes, we can maybe just do it separately. But anyway, so on component begin overlap. Now this one's gonna be a little different. We're gonna kind of make the disk launcher, right? Kind of. I'm just going to show you how to trigger stuff, some other things you'll have to figure out as I stuff. So this is going to be something that activates with the binary tool. If you go look at the documentation, the disk launcher activates with the binary tool. So what are the binary tools stuff called? I mean, I know what they're called, I'm just going to show you. So projectile. So the binary things, see the projectile 0, projectile 1, they're childs of projectile, right? So if they're a child of projectile, we can cast to projectile. There we go. So we're casting to projectile. Now, this is where it starts getting different. So we're going to need to do a check. So we need a branch. Check what it is. So we have a conditional. and as projectile, get 0. What's up? Oh, 0. So this is just like the other ones have RGBY. This has 0 at 1. So what this is checking is if it's 0. So the 0 is a 0, the 1 is a 1. Technically we only need 1, but it's good to do stuff, thoroughly. So since we know for this, what do we want to do if we hit it with a 0? I want to say 0 is rotate. Alright, so we do rotate. Oh, we're gonna do move opponent 2. And all for this, what is it? We need to rotate, right? So should be easy enough. Ease in, ease out. Let's do it over point. Let's do it over 1 second. It will rotate. We need to rotate it on its Y. On its yaw. Or yaw. Yaw? Whatever it is. It's this one. So what did we want to do? We want to rotate it 90 degrees. Or 45 degrees. Yeah, 45 degrees. Bam. Alright. So it rotates 45 degrees. Compile. We're gonna have to do a thing so that you can't just keep hitting it and mess it up. So let's add a variable. Boolean is rot. So for is rotating, let's hit compile so we can see that. Default's not true. Drag this out here. We're gonna need another branch in between here. And we want false. We want false, not true. Alright? And so we're gonna use isRot get. Bam, it's false. Okay? IsRot, so is rotating. That's what that's standing for. Is false. Then it can move. But if we want before it actually starts to move, we need to set it, tell it that now it's rotating, right? Because we don't want it to. We want it to know it's rotating before it starts rotating. So it needs to set it to tell you it's rotating, do the rotation, then after it's complete, set rot. Set is rot. That's why I couldn't find it. Set is rot to false. There we go. So 45. Now I don't really do very much of the rotator stuff, so bear with me if this isn't exactly right. Everything is a work in progress. Remember, it's all work in progress. There we go. So lift it up. Remember I said you can hit end to drop it down. It's gonna drop it down to the pivot. So this thing. Oh, it's out of the light. Oh, okay. It's in the light right here. Just gonna try to position this. Alright, so play. I don't think we have physics on this. Alright, you're gonna need physics on yours. Alright, shoot it with this, it bounces off. Oh my gosh. So that's a 1. Shoot it with the 1. We haven't done anything with the 1 yet. Shoot with the 0. Doesn't work. I know exactly why, because I always forget this. What are we rotating right now? What does this say we're rotating? Nothing. We need to be rotating something. Rotate component, pick a component. Spinny part. Alright, they should now rotate. Compile it. You always gotta compile before it can do anything. Alright, let's find it. And it's rotating. Now this isn't centered, so it's rotating very, very poorly. Okay, so it only rotated once, so we're gonna have to, check again. Is rot? It's false. Yes, it's what true. 0, true. So is rot is then false. Oh, okay. So we're gonna need to get relative rotation. Because, see, it rotated 45, but we don't want to just rotate 45. So let's grab this, because we need its relative rotation. Plus, add. Is there not an add rotation? So this may be one of those weird cases where, so if it's 45, let's see. So we're gonna need to make a new variable, and sorry, this guy is, you can skip forward and backward and stuff. I'm sorry this is taking, I thought, called a rotation. This makes it into an array, so it's an array now. Let's compile it. Element. So there's what? I'm just gonna do 90, okay? So there's what, 4 90s? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 0. Okay. So 0 the yaw. 45. Nope, 0. We need a base, so let's put 0. 45. Oops, I'm sorry. We're doing 90. You have to do 45. This is just a faster way. And yeah, 270. So then the last one's going to go back to the beginning. Alright. And so we're also going to need then, sorry, I wasn't really thinking about this one too much before I started doing this, so int counter. Counter's going to start at 0, go up to 3, and get sorry, I haven't really messed with this stuff too much. I am okay. I'm gonna have to leave this for you to figure out. I'm sure I could do it. It's just going to take time. The main thing I want to show you is this. It's a 1. All right. Sorry. It's a 0. Let's just do this. Okay. Delete all this. Delete all this. And you're going to delete these variables. Don't use this as your base. This is just to show you how you need to reference the projectiles. This, you're gonna have to maybe do something like that. Maybe look it up. I'm sorry. I don't want to waste any more of your time. So I'm just gonna. So if it's a 1, what we're gonna need to do is say print string I am a 1. Alright, so nope. This is checking if it's a 0. So I am a 0. Down here. Print string I am a 1. Alright. So it's checking, it's casting the projectile, then as the projectile asking the question. It's doing that, and we need to do something still. You need to make sure you always destroy the projectile, okay? Because we don't want the projectile passing through and hitting something else. So as projectile, destroy. All right. I'm sorry why you'll just have to work on that a little bit. I don't know if you've already maybe found some of the information you need, but I don't want to waste any more time. I just want to show you how to reference the thing. So 0. See, it says up there in the top, I am a 0. I am a 0. So 1. See, I'm shooting 1s now. I am a 1. See. It knows the difference without having to use 2 colliders. Alright, so just reference 1 collider. I'm going to delete all these things off this map. They were in the examples if you need them. Sorry about that again, Wyatt. It's going to be something like that. You're going to have to adjust the rotation, something like that. And I'm surprised they don't have rotation times rotation, or rotations that you can't add rotations to something. You may be able to add y'all. At this point, you guys can go ahead and stop. I'm going to just check real quick. So spinny part. Add. Now that's trying to add the rotation. Set. You're going to want to use a move too, because it needs to rotate. It can't just jump. You know, it needs to actually rotate. But you can... What you can do is just make rotator and just make one for each, like this, and then have a counter, like have a some kind of variable counter, and then up the counter every time it rotates, and then say if counter equals 1, do this. And the way to check that is you can do a compare. Compare int, so you can like have an input. I accidentally made it public, so get this, get equals, you know, say it equals 1, and then you'll have like, oops, that's the vector. Let's see, I see something. All the get things that you can get from are pretty much usually down multiplication. That sucks. So you have to do something like this, and then you name this one like spin amount or whatever, and so then you put if this compared to 1 equals set new var, which would be like rotation 1, or sorry, you want to like set this to like this number, like that. See, there might be an easier way to do it. And then you'd like check again. So like this would go back here, and this would go back here, because if it's not 1, it must be higher than 1, right? So then we'll set like 2. You know, put the input, and then we'll do another. You know, copy this. And then use the other variable, get. See what I'm saying? And then you just have to do that for each one. I think I said 45 in the documentation. Given that this is probably going to be the situation, I recommend just setting it to 90 right now. Rotate it 4 times, so then it rotate around again until it rotates to the last one. And then when this is set, so you'd like, after checking, so this would execute to this to do that, and then after these executed, then you'd like do something like this. And then you have to duplicate it. See what I'm saying? And then, you know, make sure you set the ease in, ease out. Maybe make it take 1 second to rotate. Yeah, I'm sorry, that really disappoints me that you can't add to it. So that's some of the, you know, limitations with it. I'm gonna break this connection up here, back to this, but I'll leave this in here so you can see it. You may have to do something like this. And then when you want to do something else, you know, you can, at the end of here, then you like spawn actor from class, select the class, bullet or whatever, select the class, and then you need to make it transform. So make it transform. So see, yeah, make it transform. So to make a transform, sorry, the disc is one of the harder ones. I think somehow you ended up with all the, like, with maybe the hardest ones. So if you need help, I can definitely help you with it. Try to work on the easier ones first, because I'm gonna probably be done with the enemies sometime early next week or something like that, and I can help you with those ones. So Wyatt, try to work on the easier ones first. I'm sorry, this is a huge video, isn't it? This is like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So the location you're gonna want to get is spinny parts location, but you can't. You get its world location, but you can't just get that because you gotta move it forward. So times, yeah, get its world location. Kind of. You're going to want to orient it kind of like the player. So if you go to the player, look how the player spawns a projectile. This function right here is what spawns the projectile. You get the rifle's world location, get the controller's rotation, but in this case, instead of the controller's rotation, you would get the other thing's rotation. You would get spinny part. Get its relative rotation. Yeah, put this into here. This is the world value, but you need to move it up some, so you're gonna have to. Oops, you don't want plus float. You don't want its world location actually. Get its. No, you're gonna need its world location, aren't you? Gets world location, plus a. I did plus float again. Plus a vector. You know, maybe move it forward a little bit. This is gonna be one of the harder ones. I'm sorry, Wyatt. It's just gonna be one of the harder ones. So something like this. I'll leave this here if you want to look at it. This may not be correct. Just mess with it. Try it. Like I said, I'll leave this in here for you. Make sure the game still plays even with all that. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry, Wyatt. That one and the van are probably the two hardest ones, and I think you somehow ended up with both of them. If you want to try to work on the other ones first, I can help you with those ones once we get to there. Again, I'm sorry. Those ones are going to take more time. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Sorry this video ended up being gigantic probably. So I'm going to put this online and I'll also put up the data shift document. So I'll talk to you guys later.